over public health. And this is reported by RT that WikiLeaks has published more secret documents from the controversial TPP agreement on Wednesday. The leaked drafts concerning healthcare in the U.S. have activists worried that the agreement might play in the hands of big pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, think? Yeah, I am sure, without a doubt, that is the goal of this. Without a doubt. It is for the big pharmaceutical companies. So the secret Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiation showed that the healthcare annex has been seeking to regulate state schemes for medicines and medical devices. It forces healthcare authorities to have big pharmaceutical companies and give them more information about national decisions on public access to medicine. That's huge. And the TPP is going to be voted on at any time. We keep hearing that every day. But if you're listening to television, you wouldn't know anything about it because all they're carrying is 2 guys escaped from Dannemora. And then they will have the nerve to say, breaking news. 2 guys escaped from Dannemora. No news. They escaped, what, a week ago? Anyway, we'll be back after this 3-minute break with the Power Hour. Stay tuned. This is Joyce Riley.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
What are you listening to? Have you tried the Power Hour 24/7 listen line? It's easy. Just punch in 605-562-6121. No apps, no data, no internet needed, and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Call now, 605-562-6121. Now you can listen to the Power Hour when you want. Bookmark the Power Hour 24/7 listen line number today, 605-562-6121. Got it? Call 605-562-6121.
This is Joyce Riley from the Power Hour, and I want to introduce you to Numana Storable Foods. This is the first brand of storable foods that I am willing to put my name behind. It's food you can trust. No GMOs, no MSG, no chemical preservatives, and no fake meat. Plus, Numana doesn't just make that claim. They back it up with independent evaluation and testing. Another thing that Numana really does that excites me is the delicious vegetarian options. If your standards are as high as mine, I can confidently tell you that Numana Storable Foods are the quality choice that you've been waiting for. Numana won't just meet your expectations, they will exceed them. And that's why we're thrilled to have the good guys from Numana joining the Power Hour family. Go to powerprepper.com and learn about Numana Storable Foods. You can also call 877-817-9829. That's 877-817-9829. Numana, the storable food you'll love to eat.
Gold isn't for you? Ted Anderson, president of Midas Resources, one of the world's premier gold and precious metal investing firms. I get it. You wouldn't buy gold if you believed that the government is doing a great job, that the Fed will stop handing out trillions of dollars like bailout candy, that Social Security would be there for you. That's not what's happening. You might even pass on gold if the stimulus package wouldn't fuel inflation, or that the dollar wouldn't lose value, or that your retirement would be secure. If all looks rosy to you, then now is not the time to buy gold. For the realist, there have never been more sobering reasons to diversify with gold. Since 2001, the U.S. dollar index has tanked 30% while gold has risen 300%. Right now, savvy investors are adding gold to their portfolios. You should too. Find out what they know. Call us and I'll send you 10 reasons why gold will do very well, free. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. In the next hour, we're going to be joined by Austin Green and Mary Ellen Moore. Austin Green and Mary Ellen Moore. Footage I've never seen before. Information I've never heard before. And I say that I am so pleased because I'm so tired of DVDs that come out that are all about stuff we already knew and we spent money on it. But not this one. Not this one. All right, getting back to the news. U.S. Congress is going to hold classified hearing to investigate the DOD's anthrax shipments. Oh, my gosh. Listen to this. I mean, the statement that they make is just imbecilic. It really is. Congressman Jim Langevin said on Wednesday, before a classified briefing with Pentagon officials, "We are conducting thorough oversight and will continue to do so." I mean, there's never been thorough oversight ever in this country from the standpoint of Congress. Why do they think it's going to be now? House Armed Services Committee Chairman Mac Thornberry told the press that Congress requested the classified briefing on the anthrax scare, no, the absolute fraud and negligence, to better understand the cause of the accident. Now, this is the statement that I was talking about. Listen to this. "This is something you have to take very seriously." Now, that's House Armed Services Committee Chairman Mac Thornberry. Brilliant, don't you think? Oh, these guys, these attorneys really have a way with words. Again, Mac Thornberry, in a press conference, you would think he could come up with something a little bit more impressive than that. But his statement was, this is something you have got to take very seriously. Something did not go right, and we have to find out what did not go right. Well, could you make it simpler for us that aren't as smart as you guys, of course, in Congress to understand? Something did not go right, and we have to find out what did not go right. That is so embarrassing, so embarrassing. California vaccine bill has now passed the Health Committee. Uh-oh, danger, red flags. It heads to the final assembly for the final vote. The state's controversial and tyrannical, treasonous, I can't think of enough words to put in there, mandatory vaccine bill just jumped another hurdle on its path to become law. California lawmakers approved the bill, which requires all school children to be vaccinated before being permitted to attend public or private schools unless they have a medical exemption. Those are going to be worth gold. Those are going to be really hard to get, too. Can you imagine a physician being questioned as to why he gave 3 of those, or 10 of them, or 50, or whatever? Anyway, the bill was approved after 5 hours of emotional testimony from hundreds of opponents. Dr. Rowan has been one of them. Robert Rowan has been fighting for all of us. He's now filed a lawsuit, as I understand, against the state of California. Get ready. I have heard from anywhere between 40 and 60 vaccines are going to be required. Now, imagine these poor children that have had none. Imagine them getting all 40 or 60 vaccines to be able to go to school next year. I can't even conceive of the damage that would be wrought in their little bodies. It appears now that Bilderberg has chosen who they want for president. Global research is predicting that it is Hillary Clinton. And I kind of think so. No matter how much garbage is in her closet, she is the person of choice. Economic Collapse says that if you are fired, you must now train your much cheaper foreign replacement, or they will take away your severance pay. Can you believe that? Huge corporations such as Disney and Southern California Edison are coldly firing existing tech workers and filling those jobs with much cheaper foreign replacements. They're doing this by bilaterally abusing the H-1B temporary worker program. There you got it. Train your replacement or we'll take away your bennies. Not good, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with the new vegetarian drive-thru. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. Joyce Riley.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Good morning, I'm Chuck Kamlick. CNBC radio stocks will tack on a few points to the big gains we saw yesterday. Nike will help. It signed a $1 billion deal with the NBA to supply uniforms and marketing expertise. That Nike logo will appear on uniforms on the basketball court. That is a first for the NBA. 2017 is when the deal starts. Amgen's injectable cholesterol drug has won approval from an FDA panel. The same group gave its okay to a similar drug from Regeneron yesterday. The full FDA is expected to approve both maybe today, but only for patients with very high cholesterol levels. Lululemon founder Chip Wilson selling his family's entire stake in his old company. Things have been tense since Wilson voted against the re-election of Lulu's chairman last year, and Wilson's family started a clothing line similar to Lululemon's. Oil company Hess selling a half stake in its Bakken oil shale assets to a private equity firm. That deal is going to bring in $2.7 billion to Hess in cash. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.
The following was recorded at a Burger King drive-thru at breakfast.
Morning, welcome to Burger King.
Can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese for sandwich?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Croissant-wich. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Croissant-wich, silly, I told you already. Get 2 flaky, light, buttery croissant-wich sandwiches for just $4.
What's going on?
Knock, knock.
Get 2 Croissant-wich breakfast sandwiches for just $4, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Here's a look at today's weather. Current temperature is 65 degrees, and take a look at the traffic. Second to get this up, we'll see stop and go traffic at the 91 Riverside Freeway westbound between McKinley Street and Green River Road. The 71 South is busy between Euclid Avenue and the 91. At Riverside, there is an on-ramp block at I-15 southbound at Rupa, and we have slow traffic on the Pomona Freeway. It looks like westbound between Euclid and the 57th Freeway.
It gets real, it's live, it's really live, local and in motion. Every day on KCAA, the Inland Empire's only live local motion talk. KCAA 1050 AM and KCAAradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. A new crispy snack cracker will ease the crushing pain of modern life. This is Doyle Redland reporting. The dull, all-consuming ache of present-day existence will be slightly alleviated when Nabisco's breakthrough T.C. McCrispy's line of crackers arrives on supermarket shelves today. Available in regular, Garden Ranch, and Zesty Cheddar, the new crackers will flood consumers' bodies with fat, salt, and starch to produce a pleasing sensation of warmth and nourishment momentarily momentarily freeing them from a relentless, crushing sense of profound grief. Mel Krychak is Nabisco's Director of Corporate Communications.
Our tasty new snack cracker will, if only for a few lovely moments, significantly lessen the hideously bleak and empty torment of modern life that festers in every solitary soul.
Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
In AgNet West today, U.S. food makers are looking for imports to help ease egg shortages caused by avian flu outbreaks. More after this.
As an almond grower, you can control damaging insect pests like navel orangeworm and peach twig borer late season. All it takes is the reliable, consistent protection of DuPont Altacore Insect Control. Apply Altacore beginning at early hull split for fast-acting, long-lasting protection without secondary pest problems. You'll get maximum yield, plus the shortest re-entry interval and a short PHI of only 10 days. Ask your DuPont retailer about Altacore. Always read and follow label directions. Some years, a growing season can seem like a wild roller coaster. Other years, you're just trying to get over one small hump after another. No matter what the ride is like, DuPont Crop Protection is right by your side with the very latest products to support California growers. From herbicides to insecticides and fungicides, DuPont has you covered. Weather, bugs, and disease don't let you know what their plans are in advance. That's why it pays to have DuPont on your side all season long. Always read and follow label directions.
Because of the avian flu outbreaks, the companies that make our cookies, crackers, donuts...
In AgNet West today, U.S. food makers are looking for imports to help ease egg shortages caused by avian flu outbreaks. More after this.
As an almond grower, you can control damaging insect pests like navel orangeworm and peach twig borer late season. All it takes is the reliable, consistent protection of DuPont Altacore Insect Control. Apply Altacore beginning at early hull split for fast-acting, long-lasting protection without secondary pest problems. You'll get maximum yield, plus the shortest re-entry interval and a short PHI of only 10 days. Ask your DuPont retailer about Altacore. Always read and follow label directions. Some years, a growing season can seem like a wild roller coaster. Other years, you're just trying to get over one small hump after another. No matter what the ride is like, DuPont Crop Protection is right by your side with the very latest products to support California growers. From herbicides to insecticides and fungicides, DuPont has you covered. Weather, bugs, and disease don't let you know what their plans are in advance. That's why it pays to have DuPont on your side all season long. Always read and follow label directions.
Because of the avian flu outbreaks, the companies that make our cookies, crackers, donuts, and many other foods are having to pay up to 270% more for the eggs and egg products they use than they paid at the end of April.
But some of our members can't even get eggs at that price.
Corey Martin with the American Bakers Association. The bird flu has wiped out about 35 million egg-laying hens that produce eggs for the breaker market. Those are eggs that are broken, processed to make everything from mayonnaise to McMuffins. Companies are having to scramble to find eggs and egg products, even looking to other countries. Canada has been the only country in recent years to be certified by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service to sell egg products here. But this past week, USDA approved the Netherlands to do so after a complete check of that country's food safety system. Martin says this won't make up for the supply lost because of the bird flu, but
it's definitely a step in the right direction, and it will be a big help.
That was Gary Crawford reporting. I'm Sabrina Hill for AgnetWest.com.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink on KCAA AM 1050. It is Thursday.
It's a lovely Thursday, Erin.
It is a lovely almost Friday.
Yes, it is.
Got some sad news right up here. I just read this right now. Actor Christopher Lee has passed away.
Christopher Lee. Why do I know that name?
Oh, he has played the villain in so many movies. Saruman is his most recent, big role.
Saruman is dead?
Saruman has passed away.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, you sound sarcastic.
No, Middle Earth. What will we do?
He also played Dracula, a Bond nemesis. He was, he's been in so many movies.
Yeah.
And at 93 years old, and he had respiratory and heart ailments, and so
that is sad.
It is sad. I was a fan. He played villains like no other. He really did.
Too many deaths lately. I mean, we've got a friend of ours whose father passed away, and talking to my brother last night. He had someone on his in-laws side of the family that passed, and I just a lot of folks dying these days.
Yes. Well, I think, when you're a kid, you're kind of oblivious to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And as you get older and, your parents get older and, then you become more aware and...
Yeah, more people that are in that,
right.
that age range where
right.
It happens.
It
People
happens. So
get sick and, yeah.
Yeah, although he was 93. He lived a very productive...
93 is a good long life.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's a good long life. So... on to happier things.
Yes.
So there's lots of ways you can listen to KCAA AM 1050. Of course, you can find us at 1050 on the AM dial, but you can also find us at kcaaradio.com. And there you'll find links to all of our social media, and we love it when you interact with us on social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can watch our embedded Ustream feed directly on the website, or you can click through and watch the Ustream feed on Ustream itself. If you have a flip phone or a home phone and no radio and you want to call to listen, you can call 832-999-1050. That's 832-999-1050. Long distance rates may apply. If you're heading into LA or OC and you want to listen to us all the way into work, you can use the TuneIn app on your Apple device or go to kcaaexpress.com on your Android device. And, turn us on early in the morning and listen all day long. I tell you, there's something different all the time. Many, many different kinds of shows here on KCAA AM 1050. So 2 days ago, we had Leslie Manookian on. She's an award-winning documentary filmmaker who made a film called The Greater Good about this vaccine debate. And specifically, we were talking about SB 277. Well, that did make it out of committee on Tuesday. And she's going to be back today in the second half of the show to talk about what happens next and where this leads, et cetera. So, and it's an important conversation. We've learned about it, I was actually surprised that, although I shouldn't have been, I suppose, the people who are opposed to this bill are all Republicans, and the people who are pushing this bill are all Democrats. And what surprises me about that is I have a lot of friends who are significantly on the left, and they deeply oppose this bill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how these things get argued out, and sometimes it's not even about the specifics. People dig in their heels because of some ideological stance, as opposed to looking at the specifics of the bill or even going back to their constituents and just asking the question, where are you on this issue? A lot of times people in elected office assume that they know more or they know better, and so they don't even bother to go ask their constituents. And I think this is one of those issues. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation about SB 277. I'm looking forward to having it's Leslie Manookian.
Yes, Leslie Manookian.
Okay, having her back on. So,
did I get that name wrong?
No, I think
okay.
You said it right. Yeah.
So the interesting, for those of you all who are not familiar with SB 277, it is the bill that would require there's a whole long list of required vaccinations for a student to enter either kindergarten or the 7th grade.
15 required vaccinations, and most of them are the pretty standard ones that we all heard about growing
measles,
up.
Mumps, rubella, et cetera.
It's polio is the first one on the list. You have to have 4 doses. Diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, you have to have 3 doses. And then measles, mumps, and rubella, that's the MMR. That's the one that most people think of. Hepatitis B, varicella, and then the Tdap booster, which is the one you get right before 7th grade.
Now, the varicella, that's chickenpox.
That's chickenpox.
Chicken socks?
Chicken socks. I can't believe I said chicken socks. Now I can't get a picture. I've got a picture of a chicken wearing socks. And you know what that chicken's name is?
What?
Varicella.
Oh gosh! Now that image is in my brain. Thanks, Tobin.
Oh my God, we're off the rails and we've just barely begun the show.
I
today.
know.
Oh my goodness.
So, and the Tdap is tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. Of course, pertussis is whooping cough. And but there are other required. Hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is you can get that through bloodborne contact or through sexual contact.
Yeah.
But they have it so that kids ages 4 to 6 years old get it.
Yeah, and
is that appropriate?
Well, and that's the interesting thing because see, if a parent decides, let's say, that they don't want their kid to get that specific one, they get all the other ones, but they don't get that one, they would not be allowed to enroll their kid in school under this law. So because that's not the complete set. Okay. And so this is one of those things where people are saying, "Hey, can't we make some common sense adjustments to this bill.
And what if parents want to just expose their kids to the chicken pox as opposed to getting the vaccine?
Exactly.
Which you have this, it would have the same effect, right? You'd have the same immunity if you had the chicken pox than if you had the vaccine.
Well, and the other thing is if you look at the way the law is currently working, it's only about 3 or 4% that actually do the opt out, and then there's probably another 6 or 7% that just don't get all of them or don't fill out the opt out forms. And so we actually already are at the herd immunity level that we need to be at. And so what this law is looking at is it's looking at a very, very small minority of people and saying, we're not going to let you continue to do what you're doing, even though we're already at the levels that we need to be at for the herd immunity. And that's why people are really upset about this, because it's not like, there is this real big health issue that's been raised. And the people in the state assembly that are pushing this and at the state level are looking at the example of Disneyland and saying, oh, see what happened at Disneyland. But, got to remember, Disneyland is a unique situation.
Yeah, because there's people from all over the world to go
all
to Disneyland.
All over the world, and it's thousands and thousands of people crammed into a very small location. If you really are that concerned about the spread of disease, then maybe you should put some regulations on Disneyland about how many people they let in their gates, and making sure that the people who come in the gates at Disneyland have to be vaccinated.
Oh, come my gosh, don't do that. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous.
No, I know. But I guess my point is that this is one of those situations where their solution is much, much broader than what the problem was. The problem was you have a bunch of people, as we said, from foreign countries all over the world jammed into a really tiny place,
Right.
And
there was definitely a measles outbreak, but
Yeah.
it wasn't, nobody died.
Yeah. It's not like we've had this. It's not like we had a whole bunch of outbreaks in schools all around California.
Right.
Now, if we'd had that, I could understand this debate. But that's not what happened. We've got herd immunity. This is not a situation that's out of control. There's not a bunch of loopy people out there that aren't getting vaccinated that has somehow made the rest of us incredibly unsafe. We are not we're actually very, very safe under the current system. We can make it a little bit better, but we don't have to take away people's rights.
Well, and I don't think that the all or nothing thing makes sense. And, people are having reactions to vaccines. And what I wonder, and I don't know, I have not found studies on this, is it vaccines in general, or is it because they're given so many vaccines at one time in an infant's immune system?
Yeah.
And so perhaps it's the intervals in which we give these vaccines that's problematic, because there are cases where people have had reactions to them, and some significant.
When we posted this on our social media the other day after Leslie was on the first time, asking people for their feedback, we got some very heated discussions going, and actually had a couple people who talked about personal examples. One lady who said that her son died after a vaccination with 48 hours later.
Oh, my gosh.
And so in her mind, and I don't have the medical records, I'm not a doctor, but in her mind and what she posted, she felt that this was directly related to the vaccine. And so, and in fact, if you read about the people who've been up protesting in Sacramento, many of them are sharing stories of their kids having problems after these vaccines. And so they're not speaking from a place of I'm a kook and I've got this thing. It's no, this has been my experience, my life, my children, and now you're telling me that I don't have the right to opt out, and I'm gonna have to force I watch my older kids suffer. Now I've got to put my younger kids through this?
Yeah. Well, I think it's time for a break. Are we ready for a break? Not yet? Okay. So we have a new board op today on our show. So please bear with us. We'll have a break here in a little bit. He'll let me know when. I wonder, and will Gardasil, since hepatitis B is part of this, will Gardasil become part of this?
And I hate to make the generalization, but there are some folks who would like to see those kinds of things pushed onto people, that they want that to be mandatory as well. That's yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable with that particular vaccine for whatever reason.
We had a long conversation with our daughter when that one came out, and we told her our concerns, and she decided that she didn't want to get it, and we didn't get it for her. Now she's an adult, and if she decides that she does want it,
it's up
she
to
can.
her.
But even then, we listened to her, and if she had said she really wanted it, we probably would have let her. But we expressed our concerns about it. And Gardasil, of course, is the one that's designed to stop cervical cancer.
Right. Well, it's designed to stop the HPV virus,
One
but not
strain.
all strains of the HPV virus,
Yeah.
PV virus.
Yeah.
And is it time for a break?
Okay.
All right, so it's time for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050, and we will be right back.
Poverty wage workers, a good place to start is in Congress. Hear about it today on Hightower Radio.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here. You know, we just saw the biggest jump in mortgage rates in more than 25 years. So now it's more important than ever to lock in your loan with a professional who has a thorough understanding of this wild mortgage market. That pro, Steve Alidord, the loan financial planner from Rancho Financial. Steve is one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the entire country. And for years, Steve has worked with me, my family members and friends, and in most cases will close your loan in 30 days or less. Time is critical if you're ready to buy or refi. No one knows where rates will go next. Learn the advantages of working with a direct lender who can fast-track your loan. Steve Alidord can calculate which program is best for you and educate you about all of your options. Call the loan financial planner, Steve Alidord, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070. Or watch Steve's free home loan webinar at loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
Are your student loans making life miserable? Optimum Student Solutions can now help consolidate your federal student loans. That's right, we can help lower your monthly payment on your federal student loans. In some cases, you can lower your monthly payments in half. It doesn't matter how much you owe, even if you are in default on your federal student loans. Just call us right now and find out if you qualify for these substantial savings. We'll help you remove your default status, lower your monthly payments, and stop wage garnishments. Let our experts eliminate the confusion and find the best payment solution for you. All you have to do is make the call. If you are a teacher, nurse, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, new federal programs are available that may have a portion of your student loan forgiven. Stop worrying and start saving. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159. Get free information. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159.
I'm Dr. Anthony Lazowitz, and this is Climate Connections. For more than 35 years, a California walnut farmer has led the sustainability revolution by first going organic and then becoming a model of water conservation. But Russ Lester also set out to make his Dixon Ridge farm energy self-sufficient. This meant pushing California, often considered a national leader on environmental issues, to keep up with him. When Lester learned of technology that could convert walnut shells into clean-burning biogas, he had to lobby the state to recognize this energy as renewable. He was motivated by both the threat of global warming and by the pessimists who said that it's impossible for people to solve this problem in the near future.
In 2007, I set a goal to make my processing facility energy self-sufficient in 5 years. That came out of a frustration of reading a lot of books that said we couldn't do this until 30, 40, 50 years from then. I really disagreed. I thought we could do it sooner and realized that I should be doing it myself. I wanted to show that it could happen a lot quicker.
Lester met his goal. Today, just 6 years later, Dixon Ridge Farms produces more renewable energy than it uses, demonstrating that there's no time like the present to innovate climate solutions. Climate Connections is produced by the Yale Center for Environmental Communication. Learn more at yaleclimateconnections.org.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
This is KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050. There is a story that made my blood boil. Tobin, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, today we're talking a lot about healthcare, and this one has to do with hospitals overcharging. And so there's a study that's 50 hospitals that charge uninsured more than 10 times the cost of care. And
so that means 10 times. If it costs $100 for them to deliver whatever service to you, they're going to charge you $1,000 for that service.
Yeah. And, as I was reading through this article, I couldn't help but think about some of our interactions with hospitals over our lifetime. And the one that stuck in my head the most was when our first child was born. And we had to prepay.
Because we didn't have very good insurance.
No. So we were on a payment plan the whole time you were pregnant, prepaying to the hospital. And on the day of checkout, we had to pay, after our son was born, we had to clear our bill. So I put the last bit on the credit card after he was born, before we could leave the hospital. And that's when they gave me the big itemized receipt, when I paid it all off. Mm-hmm. And the itemized receipt was shocking, because things like the little tray that you use if you are going to throw up, right?
Yes.
Little plastic bowl.
Yes.
Okay. Was, they charge like, $40, $50 for a thing like that.
Yeah, it probably cost them 10 cents.
Yeah.
Because they buy in such bulk.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. I mean, why am I spending that much money? And they just had these crazy markups on different items that you would have in the room or aspects to the procedure, And some of it I had no sense of how much I should be paying or not, like, for instance, for the anesthesia. Right.
Right,
but I mean, I don't know what's a fair price for that. But for things like the little plastic bowl, I'm like, really? I mean, that struck me as really, really odd.
Yes, and they charge you for things like the nurse standing next to you and handing you your medication, and that okay, fine, that you have to pay for that. Except does it really cost her $100 to hand me a pill?
Yeah.
Saying so. 50 hospitals in the United States are charging uninsured consumers more than 10 times the actual cost of patient care, according to research published on Monday. All but one of the facilities are owned by for-profit entities, and the largest number of hospitals, 20, are in Florida. For the most part, researchers said hospitals with the highest markups are not in pricey neighborhoods or big cities, where the market might explain the higher prices. Topping the list is North Okaloosa Medical Center, a 110-bed facility in the Florida Panhandle, about an hour outside of Pensacola. Uninsured patients are charged 12.6 times the actual cost of patient care. Community Health Systems operates 25 of the hospitals on the list. Hospital Corporation of America operates 14 others. They are price gouging because they can, said Gerard Anderson, a professor at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and co-author of the study in Health Affairs. They are marking up prices because no one is telling them they can't.
Okay, stop there for a second, because there's an assumption at the front end of this article that I think is just, they get it backwards. They talk about how these aren't in the big cities where you might be able to explain higher prices because people can afford more in big cities, I guess. But in fact, in big cities, what happens is because there's a lot of people, there's also a lot of hospitals, so that competition keeps prices lower in the big cities.
Right.
So it does, for me, as an economic theory, it does make sense that smaller hospitals that are out in sort of more remote areas could and would charge more because, frankly, there's not a financial benefit to have a hospital there. I mean, hospitals are about, not just saving lives and healthcare, but they're also about making money. Now, does that mean it justifies charging 10 times as much? I don't think so. But, I think that their assumption that somehow this is bad economics is not right.
Right. Their theory is wrong.
Yeah.
So the Federation of American Hospitals, which represents for-profit hospitals, said the listed hospitals provided nearly $450 million in uncompensated care in 2012 alone. Including the discounts, we would have had significant effect on the charge-to-cost ratio reported, and therefore the implications of the study's result. So the hospitals are saying, look, we have no choice. We have to provide care whether a person can afford it or not. Mm-hmm. And so because there's so much care that we provide, this charity care that nobody pays for, we have to recoup that somewhere. And of course, if you're a for-profit company, you also have to have a profit to give back to your shareholders. Yeah. Now, I wanted to let people know there's a few of these hospitals in the state of California. Only one in Southern California that I saw that made the list, and that's Olympia Medical Center, which is on Olympic Boulevard in Los Angeles. So that is a big
city.
That is that is a big urban center. The other ones in California are up north, and Tenet Hospitals has made the list in a couple of different places, and so I know that there are Tenet hospitals in Southern California.
But these might be hospitals, even the one in Los Angeles, might be in an area that other hospitals wouldn't go into because the clientele there don't have money, don't have insurance, and so maybe they're filling a need that others wouldn't fill, but then they're also gouging, right?
Yes.
I mean, so it's this damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Right? If there wasn't a hospital there, I'm sure people would be screaming and yelling, we don't have a hospital in our community, and that's
right.
That's wrong.
And that's exactly. So it's a story that's very interesting, and we need to get somebody who can clarify and shed some light on this. Article, of course, came from the Washington Post.
Yeah. The other thing about hospitals, though, is they do defy regular economic theory in the sense that when a person is in the middle of a medical emergency, they're not shopping around for prices.
No, they're not. They want their problem taken care of.
You
have a gunshot wound, you're not hitting the internet to find out where to go.
Yeah. Which hospital is cheaper for taking care of gunshot? No, let's get in and get it taken care of, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I suspect that, that regular economic theory doesn't work here. The other thing, too, this article doesn't address is government subsidies, because we know that medical care is highly subsidized in the United States. And so these for-profit hospitals, how much of this money that they're gouging is coming from us, the taxpayers?
I know. So I think we need to take another break. It's time for a break. All right. So I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And when we get back, we'll be speaking again with Leslie Manukian about SB 277. So we're on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050, and we'll be right back.
It gets real, it's live, it's really live, local and in motion. Every day on KCAA, the Inland Empire's only live local motion talk. KCAA 1050 AM and KCAAradio.com.
Hey, this is Steve Sanchez, and do you know in 2007, I went off to the doctor for a basic checkup, and he informed me, Steve, you got plaque built up around your heart, and you're going to need stents. I informed him, with no offense, doc, I need a second opinion. I go off to a naturopathic doctor, and he introduces me to something called Zango. It's a juice made of the whole mangosteen fruit. The mangosteen fruit has been used for centuries for healing. So, hey, what do I have to lose? I tried it. 3 months later, I go back to my cardiologist, no plaque, no stents, and I'm proud to say 7.5 years later, I'm stent-free. I want to turn you on to Zango because it's the only true 100% mangosteen fruit juice. It's patented. In fact, the Mayo Clinic is paying attention because they're doing an extensive study because they cannot ignore all the testimonials around the world. I want to give you a free sample of the Zango juice today. Simply call 888-309-5656. That's 888-309-5656 for your free mangosteen juice sample today from the company called Zango.
Electricity prices have been going higher and higher, and experts predict that average prices will continue increasing. You could save thousands of dollars a year while increasing the value of your home by switching to solar energy with Best Energy Advisor, the leader in affordable solar energy since 1987. Everyone's heard about the benefits of solar energy. It works day or night, and it doesn't matter if it's sunny or cloudy out. A solar system from Best Energy Advisor is now more affordable than ever. One free call to our experts and you'll find out how to get a solar system installed for zero money down and zero payments for a year. Remember this number, 800-413-9452. We make it easy to go solar and handle all the paperwork to take advantage of the government's tax credits, grants, and rebates so that you can save even more money. But these won't last forever, so call now. 800-413-9452. Don't sign a solar lease until you speak with us. Call 800-413-9452. Go solar and learn how to save money on your energy bill every month. Call 800-413-9452.
Weeds. It seems like they never stop, but you can put weeds in their place with Kcaa herbicide. Year after year, Kcaa delivers reliable control of a broad spectrum of weeds and excellent crop safety in over 50 crops. 50 crops! Kcaa gives you long-lasting residual control of more than 90 annual broadleaf weeds and grasses. It even controls tough weeds like fiddleneck, mare's tail, fleabane, fillory, and Italian ryegrass. Plus, Kcaa offers excellent rotational flexibility, so you can use it in fallow beds while keeping your options open to plant cotton, corn, rice, wheat, tomatoes, and more. And Kcaa has staying power to last through extreme weather conditions without leaching or liftoff. It's time to show weeds who's boss. Take control and keep control with Kcaa herbicide. To learn more about Kcaa, talk to your PCA or Valent sales representative or visit us at valent.com/Kcaa. Always read and follow label instructions.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. On Tuesday, we had a great conversation with Leslie Manoukian, who is a award-winning documentary producer, and activist. She's an honorary board member with the Weston A. Price Foundation. And we had a conversation about California Senate Bill 277, which would make vaccination mandatory for students to attend either public or private school. So that's both. So if you opt out for whatever reason, you'd be forced to homeschool. And that bill has made it through committee and will be going to the floor of the California State Senate. And so, Leslie, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Erin and Tobin. Thanks so much for having me. Can I just correct one thing?
Did I pronounce your name wrong again?
No, you were perfect, but it's now going to go to the full California Assembly for a vote. It already passed the Senate.
Oh, it passed the Senate. Now it goes to the Assembly. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, that's an important difference. Okay, so now what? I mean, what is the procedure? And it seems to be, as we kind of talked about this at the top of the hour, surprisingly to me that this is the support for this is down party lines. The Republicans are saying, government, you've way overstepped. This is a personal freedom issue. And the Democrats who are supporting it are saying, no, this is a public health issue and we need to act on this now. And I say this is surprising because I have a lot of friends, we like politics. I have a lot of friends who are on the far left who are very, very much opposed to this bill. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think it's really an interesting scenario. I can tell you I used to be super far left. Used to really believe that just used to be there. Making this documentary film completely opened my eyes and changed my politics in many ways, because I saw so many families who had injured children from vaccines, and I met lots and lots of adults who were injured after vaccines. And when we started talking to people about funding the film, about where they stood on this issue, it was really interesting to find out that the people who were more concerned about preserving individual rights and freedoms, by and large, not always, but by and large, were people who were more conservative. They seem to understand that our right to decide how we keep ourselves well and healthy, our fundamental personal freedoms, were paramount. Whereas a lot of people from the more left side seem to really believe that the government will fix everything and that someone else knows what's best. And I guess that's the real issue here that parents are freaking out about in California, is that these Democratic politicians seem to believe that they know what's best for someone else's children. And that's the way, the Democratic Party of California actually passed a resolution last week to support this bill, SB 277, and take away parental freedoms. And when you look at what's happening in other places, there have been situations where children have been forcibly removed from their parents because they chose not to give them a psych drug, Risperidol or something like that. And, these parents are understandably extremely concerned about their children's health and well-being. They're not just uneducated people who are being lazy. They deliberately have chosen that this is not the best way to keep their kids well, and they want to feed them well. They want to take care of them, keep them stress-free, give them as much love as possible. And so this bill is really overstepping the bounds. And the question is, why is it that the Democrats all seem to believe that they know another child's health and medical history and what's best for them, whereas the Republicans really seem to understand that this is something that should be reserved for parents?
So, Leslie, after our conversation the other day, we posted this on our social media sites, and we asked the question, is this more important as a public health issue or a personal freedom issue? And a lot of people jumped in and shared their personal stories. Many of them, like you said, shared stories of their own kids being harmed by vaccines. How is it that these guys at the Assembly are able to ignore those stories? What do you think's going on there? How can they just turn such a blind eye to people who are saying, this happened to my child?
Tobin, I think it's pure politics. There's a bit of a deaf ear from the Democrat politicians. I really believe that this is something that is being pushed by the pharmaceutical industry, but I also think there's something else. I think that there's a basic belief in most of these Democrats that a lot of people don't know what's best for their kids. And that they really need to be told what to do. They need to be told how to do this, what school to put them in the right program, Head Start, whatever it might be. There are all these different things. And that's a general kind of perspective on for a lot of Democrats, whereas I think most Republicans tend to have that perspective that it's better for the individual to make those decisions.
It's interesting. You say
and
a lot of
I think
kids.
Those Republicans, from all the stories I hear from the people I know, they are going in and they are actually heartbroken by the stories they're hearing from these parents whose children have had seizures after vaccines, who have developed ADHD after vaccines, allergies and asthma, whatever it is. Whereas the Democrats kind of just don't want to hear it or see it. I don't know. And when it's coming from the top down, then I think that they just realize that, if their career is important to them, that they have to fall in line.
The thing that strikes me is, I personally believe that we need to vaccinate our kids against the polio and diphtheria and tetanus and pertussis and measles, mumps, and rubella. But I think if a parent wants to make the decision to expose their kids to the chickenpox instead of giving them the vaccine, the end result is the same. And I don't know that a 4 and 6 year old needs a hepatitis B vaccine. And so, what I'm wondering is, is it that the vaccines that are problematic? Is it the way that they're administered, all clumped in together? Have there been studies that show maybe there's a way to administer all of these vaccines with less risk to the child? Do you know anything about that?
Well, there are many doctors. One of them is Dr. Bob Sears from Southern California, who do advocate a alternative vaccine schedule. And he has had much better success with that in terms of lower rates of autism, lower rates of allergies, lower rates of attention deficit disorders and things like that, speech delays. So, there clearly is a point to argue there that spreading vaccines out, that delaying the use of them to a later stage is safer. And I can tell you that there's a CDC whistleblower by the name of William Thompson who released a statement last year stating that the CDC covered up data that showed that the MMR vaccine caused autism, okay? What's important about that is it was when the MMR vaccine was given before 3 years of age that it caused autism. The earlier it's given, the more dangerous it is. And
this is a great.
I
hate to interrupt. I'm so sorry. We have to take a quick break. Can you hold on with us through the break?
Of course.
Awesome.
Of course.
So we are continuing our conversation with Leslie Manookian. She was with us on Tuesday, where SB 277 has passed the Senate, and it's now gone to the whole Assembly floor. And so we're going to continue that conversation when we get back. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show here on KCAA AM 1050.
This is KCAA.
We are farmers. We are all day long doers. Agriculture isn't just our industry, it's our way of life. We invest in equipment that's long lasting, economical, and environmentally conscious because that's what it takes to do the job right. We're all about greater horsepower and cleaner emissions, new implements, more attachments, better technology and dependable engineering. For all your ag equipment needs, we are Kubota.
How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt completely forgiven, both the principal and interest? National Credit Card Relief wants to give you free information that shows you how. Thousands of people have used this program to have their credit card debt forgiven. So call now for free information and consultation. We'll give you the secret to this money-saving program absolutely free. Get eye-opening information that could save you thousands of dollars a year or a month, depending on how much you owe. In fact, the more you owe, the more you can save. All you need is $10,000 or more in credit debt, medical bills, or department store debt to qualify. Call for free debt forgiveness information now at 800-546-2909. That's 800-546-2909 to discover the secret to having your credit card debt forgiven. Call 800-546-2909. 800-546-2909. Don't wait. Call now. 800-546-2909.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that there is no one path right for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I can only do so much. My options were limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I could keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found new career training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
Bob Vila here with my home improvement tip of the day. Has a pint-sized major league prospect in your neighborhood recently hit a home run through your bedroom window? Here are some tips for fixing it. Once you have your gloves and goggles on, remove the broken shards by pulling them toward you. That way, if a shard breaks, the splinters will go the other way. Scrape and sand the frame of the sash where the new pane will fit. Then run a bead of latex caulk around the frame. That'll provide a good cushion for the glass and also help make the window weather tight. To help you position the glass, just grasp a short length of duct tape in the middle, forming a tab. Then stick the tape onto the glass. That'll function as a temporary handle. Once you have the new pane in place, open your glazing compound. Remove a lump with your putty knife. Then roll it on a flat surface until it looks like a length of rope. Set it next to the edge of the glass and use the putty knife to smooth it out. Once you add a few more lengths of glazing compound around the window, you'll be done. Get more info at bobvila.com and right here at home with me, Bob Vila.
This is KCAA.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink on KCAA AM 1050. We continue our conversation with Leslie Manukian, who is an award-winning documentary producer and activist. She's an honorary board member of the Weston A. Price Foundation, and we're talking about California Senate Bill 277. So, Tobin, you have a question.
Yeah, Leslie, it's actually kind of a two-part question. First off, now that it's passed out of committee and it's going to the full
Tobin,
assembly.
I'm sorry, but I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. The question is, let me switch microphones here. The question is, now that the bill has passed out of the committee and is going to the full assembly, what are the chances of passage, and are they going to get any good amendments in there? Are they going to fix this in any way, shape, or form? And then what do you think the governor is going to do with this?
Oh, such important questions, Tobin. So first, it's going to go to the assembly floor. If it passes there, then there were amendments suggested in the Health Committee on Tuesday. They said that they would attach amendments that would allow independent learners to not have to be subjected to vaccinations. They said that they would make sure that doctors provide medical exemptions for parents who request them, because the big issue with medical exemptions is that you can't get one for your kid until after your kid is already injured. So what good does that do?
Yeah.
And if you've already had an injured child, you're rightfully very concerned and don't want to vaccinate your child or want to slow it down, and this is going to force it. The problem is parents, in most parents' experience, it's pretty much impossible to get a medical exemption. So they've said that they're going to try and require doctors to give them and say that doctors won't have any kind of punitive actions taken against them for giving medical exemptions. But at the same time, the American Medical Association passed a resolution at their annual meeting on Tuesday stating that they are going to force support mandatory vaccination. So which is it, So we don't really know. After it goes to the Assembly, if those amendments are included, it has to go back to the Senate, supposedly. But if those amendments aren't attached, then it goes directly to the governor. Now, when the governor signed AB 2109 a couple of years ago, which is a law that requires parents to be educated by doctors before they receive a personal belief exemption, Governor Brown required the health department to write in a religious exemption as well. It's not law, but he instructed them to include this. People certainly hope that he will do that again. I can tell you, whatever the governor does, there are going to be legal challenges because it's unconstitutional to exclude children. It's segregation. It is discrimination, and there will be legal challenges. And there have been several cases of late where Child Protective Services or health boards or government has tried to intervene in the way that a parent raises the child, and it has been slapped down as very unconstitutional. So I can assure you that there are going to be tens of thousands of lawsuits in the state of California if the governor does sign this into law.
So are there any groups that are recommending a different schedule? We talked about this a little bit before the break, a different schedule for vaccination. So if you have to have all of the vaccinations by the time the kids are 5 years old and going into kindergarten, then that still allows for a little bit of flexibility before then with giving the vaccines on a different schedule. Is there anyone that's supporting that idea?
Well, like I say, Bob Sears and a bunch of other physicians support that. You can go to his website, which is thevaccinebook.com, and you can find other, what he calls vaccine-friendly doctors who do support alternative schedules. And I can tell you that there was a study done that showed that 13% of pediatricians don't intend to follow CDC guidelines for vaccinating their own children. So this is not some fringe, approach. That said, Bob Sears gets attacked regularly by the American Academy of Pediatrics, a group of which he's a member. So this is so divisive and so controversial because the problem is if they concede as pediatricians as a group that there's a safer schedule, that suggests that some vaccines are unsafe. And so it's basically Pandora's box, and they don't want to open it. But the reality is that pediatricians who do use an alternative schedule have way lower rates of autism, allergies, neurological complications in their patients.
Okay. I'm letting that sink in because nobody is saying that you shouldn't protect your child. They're saying, well, perhaps we can find a better way to administer this, and even that argument can't be made.
No, basically, this is the vaccines are almost a religion. I know people want to protect their children. I want to protect mine. But the thing is, vaccines contain neurologic toxins. That is beyond a shadow of a doubt. That our health officials continue to maintain that mercury, when injected into a pregnant woman, is safe, despite the fact the package insert says it's not, is what's really questionable. That aluminum is injected into newborn babies, despite the fact that it is now linked to cancer, autism, Alzheimer's, and a huge spectrum of neurodegenerative diseases and complications, that is what is truly reprehensible. And yet we're not allowed to question these. Why? Why?
Wow. So what can a taxpayer and a voter do at this point? Who do they call?
I think it's imperative that they go on the California State Legislature website, they search for their assembly member, and they call them today, and they tell them in no uncertain terms that they want to be free to choose how they raise their children. Like I say, this is not just about vaccines. This is about government reaching further and further into our lives. If they can do it about this, why can't they tell you when you have to use antibiotics and when you just wait it out and say, you know what, I'm going to let my kid heal in the next 3 days? Why can't they tell you what psychiatric medicines to use? Why can't they tell you that you can only have ice cream once a week? You know, I mean, this is the direction it's going. So they must call their assembly members, and they need to do it today, because the vote could be today or tomorrow.
Wow.
It could be that early. I haven't heard if it's going to be today or next week, but this is really, really urgent. And
they probably want to rush it too,
to get involved and make their voices heard, because otherwise they're going to lose their rights.
I was going to say they probably want to rush it just so that they can avoid the public outcry.
Exactly. Well, that is what's happened. So in the Senate, the bill was referred to 3 committees, and there were all sorts of games going on. They literally switched up the Education Committee members in order to force this vote, to force the bill through, because it was going to fail in the Senate Education Committee. They didn't have the votes. So they changed the committee overnight.
Wow.
And when it went to the Assembly, instead of allowing this bill or requiring this bill to go through the same committees, Health, Education, and Judiciary, they fast-tracked it through only the Health Committee. They are definitely trying to push this through, rush it. So it really, please, I really beg anybody who's listening who cares about parental rights to call their assembly member and tell them to vote no on SB 277.
So really quickly, because we're coming short of time here, tell us about your documentary, The Greater Good.
The Greater Good The Greater Good explores the whole vaccine debate, and it does so in the most unbiased way we possibly could. We tell the stories of 3 families who had an issue with vaccines, and we also allow people from all perspectives of the vaccine debate to share their perspective. So we interviewed CDC officials, FDA officials, vaccine patent holders, vaccine developers. We also interviewed doctors who have concerns about vaccines and activists who have concerns about vaccines. And we let them all basically state their case and allow the viewers to make up their own minds as to where they stand on the position. It's very compelling. It's available now on Amazon. It's on Hulu. You can see it at our website, greatergoodmovie.org. We're hoping to be on Netflix soon.
Wonderful. Well, Leslie, it's absolutely wonderful to have you on the air, especially so quickly. I mean, this happened very quickly, and we hope that you come back as this continues to move forward.
Anytime, Aaron and Tobin. Thank you so much for having this very important discussion. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And everybody needs to take her advice and get a hold of your assembly member and let them know what you think on this issue. Leslie Manookian, always a treat to have you on.
Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. So we have just a couple of minutes left. What do you think about all this, Tobin?
Well, I actually just went onto my Facebook page and tagged Cheryl Brown and Mark Steinworth, our 2 assembly people from our area, and let them know what I think. And hopefully they will get their Facebook pages flooded with people contacting them.
Yes.
And reaching out and calling their offices and so forth to let them know. And again, I think that they've got to have some reasonable exemptions for parents.
The thing about it is that because the people who are against vaccines have been labeled anti-vaxxers, anything that they say or think is then dismissed. And anybody who hints of maybe being in that camp is automatically dismissed as being a kook.
Yeah.
And there are kooks out there. There always have been. They're not going anywhere, whatever. But the majority of people are not kooks. And so does that mean we cannot have an intelligent discussion about this?
You and I are part of the 93% that got our kids vaccinated.
Yeah, our kids have been vaccinated.
We did it. But I still believe that parents deserve to have the right to make that decision for themselves.
Well, and to pick which vaccines they don't want.
Yep.
Again, a parent could very easily say, you know what, I'm just not comfortable with the vaccine. I'm going to let my kids, I'm going to have a chickenpox party and let my kids be around others that have chickenpox, and then they'll all be immune. And it essentially does the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, why should, if a parent should be able to make that decision for themselves, and especially if one of your children has had a reaction, then to say no, it's likely, there's an increased likelihood that my other children will also have a reaction, and not get them. You should also have the ability to change the schedule at which your own children are vaccinated.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be forced to have them at this, at a particular point in time.
Yeah. I think about the left-right divide on the abortion issue, and we've kind of flipped roles here. On the abortion issue, the left wants you to be able to choose anything at any time, whenever you want, and they don't like that the right is putting restrictions on when a person can choose to have an abortion.
We are completely out of time.
Flipped.
We are completely out of time. So this has been a great discussion today. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA AM 1050. Have a productive Thursday, everybody, and call your assembly member.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Miss one of your favorite shows? Don't worry, we've got your radio DVR right here on KCAAradio.com. Log on and listen to any show you want, anytime you want, on KCAA 1050 AM.
And here we have the latest on your traffic. The weather is currently 65 degrees. The traffic is stop-and-go traffic at the 60 South 60 Pomona Freeway, westbound Haven Avenue and Diamond Bar Boulevard. The 10 West is slow going from Etiwanda to Reservoir, and the 210 West is busy between the 15 and Foothill. We also have in Corona stop-and-go traffic. 91 State Route Riverside Freeway westbound between McKinley and Green River Road. East is slow from Adams Street to Arlington. The 71 South is busy between Pine Avenue and the 91. Also in Murrieta, we have stop-and-go traffic between I-15 southbound and I-215, kind of the usual slowing. And in Paris, stop-and-go traffic, same thing. Moreno Valley between I-215 northbound, Alessandro Boulevard, and University Avenue. The 60 West is busy between Pigeon Pass and I-215. This weather and traffic is brought to you by Best Friend Dog Grooming. Reminds you, pet owners, to spay and neuter your pet, your best friends and companions. Spay and neutering has numerous health benefits. Let's prevent shelters from being overrun with unwanted pets. That message courtesy of Best Friend Dog Grooming at 3545 East Highland Avenue in Highland. For all breed show quality dog grooming, call 909-862-2692. Best Friend Dog Grooming is on the air because they care.
Check us out on Instagram where you can watch videos, see pictures, and listen to audio of all your favorite KCAA shows. That's right, KCAA 1050 AM is now on Instagram. Go get your account.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
Ever wonder what's wrong with the world today? It seems only sex and violence make any sort of noise in our media-driven lives. A politician cheats on his wife. A young girl gets raped. A millionaire commits suicide. Ever wonder, what's the point of all of this? And where does God fit in? If you're confused, feeling lost, or empty inside, there's a website that can help. Check out fishforgod.com. At fishforgod.com, we have some good guidance and answers to some of life's most important questions. Questions like, why do bad things happen to good people? And why do I need to be saved anyway? Without answers, we're all doomed to lead confused, empty lives. The cure for your happiness is here. You've got questions. We've got answers. Check out fishforgod.com. Again, that's fishforgod.com.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
One of these times, the market's going to break out to the upside, in my opinion. The S&P 500 is up 9 points right now. It's at 2,114. Back above that 2,100 level, it's up 0.4% right now. The NASDAQ up 24, right at 5,100. The NASDAQ is up almost 0.5% here this morning after yesterday's big move of a little over 1%. That was a nice day, mostly on this Greece hopes that there's a Greece resolution. I've heard this for 6.5 years now, and there's still no Greek resolution. I'll believe it when I see it. Crude oil down 0.75% today, but crude has been on a run here. The oil stocks had a very nice day yesterday.
Today we've got news that the Saudis are going to increase output again to meet rising demand. Hey, I thought demand was falling through the floor there not too long ago. Now they've got to increase output to meet the rising demand? I don't know. That's about as trustworthy as that news out of Greece every day. Gold, 1177, gone nowhere this year. Still a very poor place to have any investment whatsoever, other than, to bribe the border guard someday. 10-year yield, 2.46%. So welcome to the Best Stocks Now radio hour with professional money manager Bill Gunderson, president of Gunderson Capital Management. Well, we had one of the biggest days in the market that we've had in a long time this past week. And I think you can thank several different occurrences in the market that have kind of turned around here that were damaging the market early on. Let's begin with the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar went on that run that began last summer. It finally peaked in the springtime, March-April time frame, and the U.S. dollar has been softening ever since. And it got hit pretty hard on Wednesday, the day that we had the big up move in the market. The market likes a soft dollar because it helps our multinational companies and it makes our products more competitive on the world scene. It also helps the commodity stocks. And we are seeing a softer dollar here recently. The second big factor in the market this year, crude oil prices. Crude oil prices finally bottomed back in late January at about $42 per barrel. And what have they been doing